over 30 individuals who are held in the DC jail who participated in the January 6th insurrection on the US Capitol are asking to be sent to another prison, a particular island prison specifically because they don't like the conditions there in the DC jail. This per Vice News. January 6 defendants held in the DC jail, so-called Patriot Wing, are demanding to be transferred to Guantanamo Bay's military prison, which is notorious for human rights abuses, because they think it would have better amenities. Yeah, I'm sure it's a 4-star prison. Anyway, well, 34 detainees who are either awaiting trial or serving sentences in connection with the violent riot on the Capitol signed a letter reasserting their outrage over the conditions in the federal correctional facility in Washington, D.C. The letter, which we got pictures of, well, it reads, "We hereby request to spend our precious and limited days, should the government continue to insist on holding us captive unconstitutionally as pretrial detainees, to be transferred and reside at Guantanamo Bay." The 34 detainees were shocked that a country that ensures liberty and justice for all would subject its own people to such hellacious conditions and medieval standards of living like those of the DC jail. It also includes standard complaints of American jails like mold, rust, pests, and so on. This more from Vice News. Well, the letter also rattles off more unusual criticisms like critical race theory or re-education propaganda on the tablets provided to inmates, being shocked by jail staff with Kamala Harris-related attire or receiving punishment for expressing any political views whatsoever. But the January 6th defendants have a sunnier perception of Guantanamo Bay, or Gitmo, which they wrote provides nutritional meals and top-notch medical care and is respectful of religious requirements. They also note that they are centers for exercise and entertainment there, despite the fact that those residents are malicious terrorists. It's really interesting. I wonder where they got these lies about Guantanamo Bay. It's maybe like they've been listening to Fox News and they think that it's going to be better than the DC facilities. I actually think it would be rather interesting and entertaining to send them there so that they can maybe get a real sense of the truth. But I still wonder at some point if it will register with them that they have been bamboozled, swindled, whatever it is, but they've been lied to. And yeah, it's not really any better at Guantanamo Bay, to my knowledge. Jessica.
It's crazy that now these folks, they've decided that being a pretrial detainee is unconstitutional now that it impacts them. There's been a movement to abolish cash bail and point out that supposedly we have the presumption of innocence in our society and you shouldn't be held in jail unless you've been convicted of a crime. We've been saying this forever, but now that it affects them, suddenly they care. This is the problem with people who support Donald Trump, because our jails have been in terrible condition for quite some time now, and they really will never care unless it personally affects them. But hey, wherever the movement takes you, I'm glad that you're here now, and I hope that you continue to fight the good fight to end pretrial detention and fight for better conditions for people who are in the pretrial system in the United States, because this is ridiculous to say I need to be held in Guantanamo Bay where we hold terrorists. They really see themselves as these profound political prisoners who have stood up against the US government. No, you guys are run-of-the-mill criminals. You should stay in the DC jail. And if you really cared about the conditions of our justice system, you would have been fighting for this for far longer than the moment you were put in handcuffs and put in jail. So it's just disgusting, the hypocrisy here. These are the same people that have been following a racist leader. And it's people just like Donald Trump that have led to our jails being in these conditions where disproportionately Black people and people of color are put in these jails. So it's just, the irony is palpable here. It
is very much so, and so is kind of the racism, because as far as I'm concerned, that's why they weren't advocating for change of those systems. They were aware, based on the many complaints, that they are intolerable, substandard, and dehumanizing living conditions, that these prisons, that this is what they are, yet they were okay when it's just housing Black and brown people. Oh, totally okay. They can live in that squalor, but for them, predominantly white men, oh God, no. How could we? This isn't right. So this seems very on par for who they are.